You will remember where you were when you heard that Donald Trump was starting to move towards invoking the Insurrection Act. Was this what it was about all along? I know many of you listen to the show on the treadmill or on your commute to or from work, wherever you are. If this is the direction we are going as we approach November of 2026, I can only assume you will remember where you were when you first heard it. So let me tell you what's going on. Donald Trump has now threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act specifically to deploy American troops against protesters in Minneapolis. Let me say it one more time. The president threatening to use military force against American citizens who are protesting legally the federal immigration enforcement tactics that have already resulted in multiple shootings, including the fatal shooting of 37-year-old Renee Good. Donald Trump taking to Truth Social and laying it out. Quote, if the corrupt politicians of Minnesota don't obey the law and stop the professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE, who are only trying to do their job, I will institute the Insurrection Act, which many presidents have done before me, and quickly put an end to the travesty that is taking place in that once great state. Trump previously, when he's been asked about the Insurrection Act, he's sort of been like, I might need it someday. But now he is saying specifically, it is the next step in Minneapolis if it doesn't go the way I want it to go. Now, what's actually happening on the ground is that since early December, the Department of Homeland Security has flooded Minneapolis with immigration enforcement officers. Mayor Jacob Fry says it is a force 5 times larger than the city's entire police force that has descended upon that city. 3,000 federal agents compared to 600 officers of the police in Minneapolis. And they are operating in one city. Fry says it is an invasion, probably accurate. I don't think that that's hyperbolic. Now, as many of you know, Officer Jonathan Ross killed Renee Good while she was in her car near her home in Minneapolis. We've looked at that video a number of times, Ross firing 3 shots at close range, killing her. I think it's important to mention, by the way, as everybody has looked at the videos like the Zapruder film and slowed it down and whatnot, if the justification for shooting her was that she was going to drive over Ross and then drive away dangerously, shooting her 3 times didn't actually prevent her from driving away, which she did, and then struck, I believe it's a telephone pole. Anybody should have realized that shooting her as she was pulling away was not going to stop the vehicle, at least not in a safe way. We then had another shooting yesterday. A federal officer shot a man in the leg during an arrest attempt. And the result here has been nightly protests with federal agents in gas masks firing all sorts of stuff into crowds. How does Trump respond? He says, well, I might have to invoke the Insurrection Act. He's calling the protesters professional agitators and insurrectionists. There's no evidence of that. These are residents of Minneapolis and of Minnesota who are understandably angry about the dissent of these federal agents and the fact that federal agents have killed at least one person there. He's calling the ICE officers the patriots with a capital P. He's saying the governor there is corrupt, Tim Walz, because he hasn't cracked down harder. And the key threat is that of potentially deploying the military against American citizens on American soil. I hate to say it. I don't like the hyperbole, and I don't think that that is what it is. This is how police states can begin. This is the playbook. You flood a city with federal agents. Their presence results in violence and a public outcry. You say that the outcry is from individuals who are terrorists and enemies of the state. You say the local authorities are corrupt and can't handle it. And then you say, well, now it's time for military intervention. We are kind of like at step 3 heading towards step 4. And Trump is openly telling us about his intention to move to step 5, which is actually deploying military forces against citizens. And then the question is step 6 somewhere down the line a state of emergency? And step 7 is, well, we can't have elections now. This wouldn't be an appropriate time for a midterm election. Now, Governor Walz has spoken about what he sees going on. He says it defies belief. He says this has become a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota. And it does seem to be that from the copious videos that we are seeing. And think about the precedent that this sets. If Trump successfully invokes the Insurrection Act in Minneapolis, it establishes that the president can flood any city with federal agents. And if there is any reaction to that, even when the agents have killed a civilian, the president can say, well, now we need troops to crush the protests. Protests against environmental policies, deploy the troops. Protests against abortion restrictions, deploy the troops. Do you see how this could be applied to any situation that the administration wants? It is not about immigration enforcement anymore. This is about the president being able to use the military force to suppress dissent. And what really concerns me is that Trump's been testing the boundaries of executive power and pushing to see what can I get away with. And he's getting away with a lot. Now, at the end of this rainbow is the pot of gold or the pot of coal or whatever. Is it to try to do something about the midterm elections? Has this been the plan all along? Foment chaos in the streets, implement the Insurrection Act, maybe you declare martial law, and then you suspend the elections. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is already asking military branches to provide 40 lawyers to support immigration operations in Minneapolis. The Pentagon is bragging. We are proud to support what is going on in Minneapolis. So there's no pushback. They're enabling it. And this is a line we cannot allow to be crossed. Now, I'm not here doing it's civil war, the people that have been predicting civil war for 15 years. There is a counterpoint to this as a path to cancel elections. And the counterpoint is very simple. The federal government doesn't run the elections. States run the elections. And therefore, the president can't possibly cancel them. And that is a good argument legally, but we shouldn't underestimate this president's willingness to impose force, even if it is not legal. So what happens in Minneapolis over the next few days quite literally could determine the next several years of civil liberties, free speech, and fair elections in this country. The stakes are extraordinarily high, and we are going to be following it really closely. When it was time for a new mattress, I didn't want to gamble on something generic. I had heard about Helix. I liked that they customized the mattress based on how you sleep. I'm mostly a stomach sleeper, so I took the quiz and ended up with a model that felt tailored to me. I've had it for years. What I notice is I don't wake up with back stiffness. I don't wake up with shoulder pain. I don't toss and turn looking for a comfortable position. It's just better than my old mattress. It's more supportive, but it's still comfortable. Another thing I like about Helix is that there's no one-size-fits-all approach. It's really tailored to you in terms of firmness as well. It's made a difference for me, and I'm thrilled to be partnering with them. Go to helixsleep.com/Pakman, and you'll get 20% off site-wide. The link is in the description.